Welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you decoupage of fabric on wood. This is a very much requested technique. I'm using a piece of fabric that I got from Ikea. It is not a very thick fabric. The best fabric to use for this process is cotton that is light, like the ones for bed sheets, and linen. Other types of fabric like satin or velvet are not suitable for this. We have two techniques for this process. The first one is the one I'm going to show you now, and the second one I'm going to show you later on in this video. I cut my piece of fabric slightly bigger than the surface I'm going to glue it on, and put it on a piece of baking paper or parchment paper. That's because it's non-stick. So when I put my glue over the piece, it's not, and I want to remove it, it will not stick. Now I'm using here a mixture of water, white glue, and some water-based varnish. And I'm starting to apply my mixture by brush all over the piece of fabric. As you can see, this is the right thickness for this mixture. You can just omit completely the water-based varnish. You can use just the mixture of the white glue and the water. Now, as I said, I'm using a soft brush to apply my glue all over the piece of fabric. The advantages of this technique is that when you cut the fabric by scissors later on, or we will use an X-Acto knife probably, the edges don't fray, which is very important for us. Plus, when you are stretching the piece of fabric you have on your wooden surface, sometimes it is not very uniform. So this process avoids this problem. Now we will leave it to dry and go on to painting our surface. Here I am using this very famous Ikea wooden ladder. It has two steps, and I used the one that's natural raw wood that doesn't have any finish on it. The only thing I did was clean it using vinegar and water and baking soda. And then afterwards I gave it a light sanding with a 120 grit paper. I then removed the dust from the sanding using a damp cloth. This is the piece of fabric I'm going to use for the upper step. It is matching the other one, same fabric exactly, from the same source. I'm not going to glue it to the sides. I'm just going to glue it to the surface. Now I'm going to paint my ladder using acrylic paint, because this is natural raw wood that has no finish now on top. So you can apply your paint directly on. You can use acrylic, you can use latex, you can use chalk paint, but here I'm using acrylic. I wanted the red color because I thought it would provide a great contrast with the black and white. This shade was called Hibiscus, but I really didn't like it. I thought it was a little bit dark and pinkish, and I wanted a brighter red. So after the first coat was dry, I gave it a second coat using primary red color, and you will see it next in the video, and I think it looks much better than this one. You can leave the wood as it is if you like the color of the raw wood, or you can even add a stain instead of painting it. But I liked using, as I said, the red color with the black and white fabric. My fabric is now dry, so it's time to start using it. As you can see, I just removed the fabric from the baking paper. It was stuck in some places, but not that much. As you can see, maybe here at the edges, but it went, I took it off easily. It wasn't a big deal. And now you will see that the fabric is not so pliable as the other one that has no glue on top. Now here, the second technique. Here you will glue, we will glue the fabric directly over the wood without adding our mixture first, like the other piece. So I'm using the same mixture I used for the striped piece of fabric. And as I said again, you can completely omit the varnish, the water-based varnish. And for the water-based varnish, you can use anything. I used here polyacrylic. You can use anything if you want. Remember, we have to put a thick coat of the glue, because this is thicker than napkins or rice paper or classic paper. You need a thick layer. So after applying a good layer of glue, I put my fabric on and I start to straighten it so I don't have any air bubbles or extra glue beneath. We should keep doing this until you feel that the glue is actually coming out on the other side, so it's like sticking to your hands. This means that the fabric has soaked the glue to the other side. This is a very good sign. And now I'm just applying the same mixture on top. Like any time we're doing decoupage, we do the same with napkins, we do the same with paper. We apply a thick layer, and the most important part is to take care of the edges. If the fabric is going to come off, it's going to come off the edges. So please take care of the edges, whether on the undercoat or the upper coat. Now, before we glue this piece of fabric, we have to resize it or remove the extra pieces. I wasn't using a very good pair of scissors, and just to say, this note is very important. Your scissors that are fabric scissors should not be used for anything else. Your paper scissors should be used only for paper, because they sort of get brittle by time and they don't cut that well. I'm here doing the same thing and removing the extra fabric, so gluing the piece becomes more easy for me. I apply the same mixture again to my wood, and the same as the other step. The base coat should be really profuse, And then, as you can see, I'm pressing very hard to make sure that it sticks. And again, please take care of the edges. So here is why I'm again applying more glue so it wouldn't come off. And then again at the back. You get the feeling that it's not going to stick that well because it's very rigid, but it does stick well. And after it becomes a little bit dry, during drying, you can check the edges again and apply more until it's completely glued. Again, here we apply another top coat over the fabric and also over the wooden surface. Now everything is dry. My fabric is dry, my ladder is dry, and I'm going to cut the excess fabric so it fits the size exactly. All I do is just use a cutter knife to remove the excess. You just sort of like make a mark on your fabric, and then using the cutter knife, you just remove the excess. Please take care. This is very dangerous sometimes. If you get cut using this cutter, it's very sharp. Because it's very sharp, the wound is not that great. As you can see, there is no fraying here when you cut the fabric. This is the upper part. Just wanted to show you that when I removed the excess using the same technique exactly, we have a very small area here that has fraying on it, and this didn't happen with the other piece of fabric. And now I'm just applying my same mixture over the fabric and over the whole wooden surface. For the wooden surface, I applied 3 to 4 coats, and now this is the end result. I really like it. I like the colors very much. I love the fabric that I chose, and I hope you like it too. I think this technique is simple. It doesn't require any sophisticated material, or it doesn't require you to be very skilled decoupeur. So I hope you try it and show me the results and tell me if you like it. And please tell me what other videos you would like me to make.